With Edge of Fate rapidly approaching, I really wanted to talk about 6 weapons that I think are going to be very strong going into the DLC for PvP. Now, overall, we are not getting any shakeups in the meta. Bungie is actually not nerfing or buffing anything in terms of PvP meta in particular, but with all the armor changes coming into the game, that is going to inherently shake up the meta. If you've been living under a rock, let me talk about it real quick. Bungie is changing up all the armor stats. Discipline, strength, and intellect are just transforming into grenades, super, and melee. Pretty self-explanatory. If you build into it, it will make it so you can do increased damage. But resilience, discipline, and recovery are all changing to class, health, and then most importantly, weapon. Weapon is the one we're really going to focus on today, as this is a weapon video. This will make it so all weapons in PvP will do 6% more damage if you max it out at 200, and that is what this video is pretty much going to be about, how broken some of these weapons are going to be. It shifts the time to kill of some weapons an absurd amount, but then also doesn't really do a whole lot for others. Think like a 140 hand cannon. For a 140 hand cannon, you're still going to have to hit the 3-tap. Now, it will extend out its range a little bit, but overall, it's not the craziest buff in the world. But for something like a 390 pulse rifle, it'll actually make it so it can 2-burst all the time. Now, the weapon stat also will increase handling and, just be beneficial in that regard, but most people are going to want to build into it for that damage. Now, these are just weapons I'm expecting to be super meta. Obviously, later, once we get into the DLC and get more weapons, I'll make a more updated video with, the top 15 weapons as I normally do, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. But without further ado, let's get into the first weapon. Now, obviously in the intro there, I talked a little bit about 390 pulse rifles, and no other 390 pulse rifle is better than the Bygones. You get this beautiful pulse rifle from Gambit. You can either get it from a match or focus it at the Drifter, and it feels absolutely insane to use and has an insane perk pool to boot. Now, the perk pool is absolutely massive, so getting the God roll is definitely going to be a little difficult. Fortunately enough, there's a lot of good perks on this thing, so fortunately enough, you can kind of make it work, and at the end of the day, with the weapon stat, even if you have a bad one, it's still going to 2-burst, which is just stupidly strong. Starting off with the first column, you're going to be either looking for Lone Wolf, Keep Away, or Zen Moments. All 3 of these perks are amazing, help with consistency of it, and just make it feel super strong. Personally, I like Zen Moment there. As soon as you start hitting your shots, you don't get flinched and your gun just becomes a laser beam. But if you are a Dawnblade or somebody that likes to play in air a lot, Lone Wolf is very good. And then Keep Away, as I said, is just very consistent as well. Now in the second column, we have some damage perks that are pretty nice, but for the most part, we're already 2-bursting. We don't really need to 2-burst any harder. There's only one, killing chaining perk here that I'd really offer, and that would be Desperado, but for the most part, I'd probably opt for something such as Headseeker, which would make it just so your gun is even more consistent. So Headseeker, Desperado, both fantastic, would go with one of those two. But with the new weapon stat, I expect to see Bygones everywhere. It was super strong when High Ground was making it 2-burst, but now you're just going to be able to 2-burst even without getting the high ground on people. It's going to be insane. Get ready for the Bygones meta. Number 2 on this list is the Exotic Scout Rifle Wicked Implement. You get this currently from the Exotic Kiosk in between the vaults and the tower. Now, this Scout Rifle is getting a big change. Bungie is actually buffing it up to 260 RPM from its 180 to make it more to line of what it's supposed to be doing, hitting headshots, being able to slow people. Now they are making it so it will require 1 more headshot to slow people. But the thing that's going to make this so strong is obviously the weapon stat. 260 RPM scout rifles such as Fang It Ear Ute can actually 4-tap just from having precision instrument. But with the weapon stat, that's just going to make all 260s 4-tap, giving them a 0.7 time to kill, which is just insane. And you're going to be able to slow people. It's going to have Headstone, making it so you can kind of block off reses and Trials of Osiris-based game modes. And overall, Wicked Implement is just going to be very, very strong. It has a very good stat package for this archetype of scout rifle. And like I said, you don't need precision instrument anymore. So Fang It Ear Ute is not really a must in it as long as you build into the weapon stat. It's just going to be very, very strong and a very consistent scout rifle. If you are enjoying the video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, as it does help out with the channel a lot. I plan on posting tons of PvP content going into Edge of Fate, and I also plan on posting some PvE here as well. So be sure to subscribe. Thank you all so much and enjoy the rest of the video. Sightline Survey is a 180 RPM hand cannon that you can currently get from the helm if you get the engrams from it. After the DLC, I'm not 100% sure, but as of right now, for the next week, you can still get it there. And this hand cannon is going to be insane. Any hand cannon with precision instrument on it is going to be able to 3-tap with the weapon stat. And being able to 3-tap will make it so this thing will have a 0.67 time to kill, just making it a very consistent hand cannon. 180s overall, though they aren't the strongest in terms of raw damage most of the time, they get increased strafe speed, crazy airborne effectiveness, and the fact that you're just going to be able to 3-tap with this thing as long as you hit your 3 headshots is just going to be very, very strong. And looking at the perk pool, it's got some pretty good ones. In the first column, you have To the Pain or Keep Away. Personally, I prefer Keep Away, just getting those raw base stats. The reload speed and range is just very good. And then obviously in the second column, you need Precision Instrument for it to be able to 3-tap, so that is what we are going to be opting for. But this hand cannon just feels absolutely buttery smooth, and once it's going to be able to 3-tap, I highly expect you're going to see it more. It's super stable, super easy to use, and especially good for my controller players out there. The only thing that this thing is going to be lacking is its range compared to some of the other options on this list, being pulse rifles and scout rifles. But if you can play your ranges correctly and get up close, this thing will be an absolute menace. Next up on the list is Reggri's S-Talk. Now, I know, this has been the bane of the Crucible for the longest time now, and it's just going to get even better now with the weapon stat. So overall, its base time to kill shifts just a little bit. It shifts from a 0.87 seconds to a 0.8 seconds. Isn't the fastest time to kill in the world, but it is still faster than things like 140 hand cannons now. And the thing that really bumps this up is the fact that with that damage buff from the weapon stat, it's going to make Sword Logic 2 burst again. Was one of the reasons this pulse rifle was so deadly in the first place. Everybody got the Sword Logic roll, and now it's just going to be even stronger once again. Pretty much nullifying all the nerfs that Bungie did in the past. Now, checking out the perk pool, obviously, if you got just the base roll, Lone Wolf, Sword Logic, perfect. That's what you're going to want. But if you're going to want to actually farm out a little bit of a different one, Lone Wolf or Zen Moment are amazing. And then in terms of the second column, obviously Sword Logic is amazing, or you can go with something like Head Seeker if you really don't care that much about the 2 bursts and you really want to build into the consistency. But overall, I just think going with Lone Wolf Sword Logic is just going to be absurd. It's the roll that everybody gets, and it just gets even better with these stat bonuses. Base time to kill, a little bit increased, so it can outduel 140s a lot easier. Then the 2 bursts capabilities are also going to be back. Next up on the list is going to be Abyss Defiance. This is a 360 RPM auto rifle that you get from the Crota's End raid, and this thing is going to absolutely slap. 360s with target lock and the buff from the armor stat are going to actually take people out in 0.67 seconds, bringing it down from 0.83, which is just absurd. This thing is going to destroy Guardians in the Crucible, and it has just insane range to boot. And being an auto rifle, being able to take people out at that time to kill is just absurd. And the perk pool doesn't disappoint it either. In the first column, you have things such as Heal Clip and Zen Moment. Zen Moment is your traditional standard pick, of course, making it so the gun just becomes an absolute laser beam. But Heal Clip does have some play if you're really trying to, outlast the opponent, get your health back, and great for 6s as well. In terms of the second column, obviously we need Target Lock. That is what is going to make this weapon take somebody out in 0.67 seconds. So not really much to negotiate there. But overall, this auto rifle is just very, very strong. If you can get used to the recoil direction, it is very good. It's definitely a little jumpy, so you'll want to build into the stability of it a little bit. But seeing as it has such a high base range, it is just very strong. Very good auto rifle and very great for my auto rifle enjoyers out there. Now, lastly is Igneous Hammer that you get from the Trials of Osiris players. Now, this isn't necessarily going to be meta because of the weapon stat like all the other weapons on this list, but the reason it is on this list is not because it's already so strong. I know it is very good, but it's actually getting even stronger this season because of our artifact. Bungie is introducing a perk in our artifact called Fever and Chill. Rapid precision hits with solar weapons will grant you Radiant. Now, if this sounds familiar to you, that's because a while ago in a past seasonal artifact, we had an artifact perk called Flint Striker. This made it so whenever you hit 3 headshots, you became radiant with a solar weapon, and it looks like we're pretty much getting that back. And why is this so good? Well, Igneous Hammer is a solar weapon, and it pairs perfectly with the perk Golden Tricorn. Radiant and Golden Tricorn is going to make it so you can 2-tap any Guardian inside of PvP, which is just very strong. Kramil's Dagger with Adagio has been making all the waves recently. Everybody's been loving it, but Igneous Hammer is essentially going to be able to be that without having to lose its fire rate and having a way better stat package. Igneous Hammer is going to be so strong with Golden Tricorn. Now, granted, you do need to hit the 3 headshots. It don't just get a kill like with Adagio, but it's still going to be so easy to do. Igneous fires out absolutely truck-sized bullets, and it is just so good. In terms of the other perks that you're going to want in the first column, either Keep Away or Fragile Focus are great for consistency, or you could go with Heal Clip if you want to get a little funky with it. In terms of the second column, obviously Golden Tricorn is amazing. Like I said, the main reason it is on this list is because of the 2-tapping capabilities you're going to have from Radiant and Golden Tricorn. And this hand cannon, I expect you're going to see most games. It is just so good with Golden Tricorn. Hopefully you saved one, or if you haven't yet, get your last weekend in Trials and try to get at least a decent Golden Tricorn Igneous. And that is my list, guys. These are all weapons that are getting a lot better going into the DLC, and let me know how you feel about it. There are other weapons and other archetypes that are going to be getting this shift in time to kill that are better, so let me know down in the comments which ones you're looking to use. Now, as I said earlier, don't worry, this is not replacing the 15 weapon list. Once we get a week or two into the DLC, I'll be posting the top 15 weapon builds as I normally do, so don't worry about that. We just need to get in the DLC and get my hands on it to see really what is the true meta, and also we need to make sure Bungie doesn't get rid of that, weapon stat bonus too quickly before I, get too into it. Thank you guys all so much, and you all have a good rest of your day.